On his maiden visit to Washington, Prime Minister Yusuf Raza Gilani has already scaled the lawns of the Capitol Hill alongside President Bush, doling out statements of good intent.
Pakistan is a strong ally and a vibrant democracy. And the United States supports the democracy and supports the sovereignty. And of course, we talked about the common threat we face, extremists who are very dangerous people. We talked about the need for us to make sure that the Afghan border is secure as best as possible.
We are committed to fight against those extremists and terrorists. This is our own war. This is the war which is against Pakistan, and we'll fight for our own cause.
But so far, the Prime Minister's visit has been overshadowed by hasty decision at home and drone attacks from the Afghan side of the border, killing 6 tribesmen. Mr. Gilani and his men must be finding it hard whether to believe the words of US administration or watch for their actions on the ground. Political gurus, meanwhile, see a pattern behind the contradiction of sorts in Washington's words and deeds.
I think in real concrete terms, the contours of the policy and the relationship have already been laid out. And I think it is no accident that while the Prime Minister was being feted by Mr. Bush in the White House, there was an American general in town talking to his counterparts at the GHQ, I think where the real discussion took place. And lo and behold, all of a sudden there was a missile fired from somewhere, which was more a message to Pakistan, to the Pakistani military, to the Pakistani government that the US means business. But I think that also backfired.
At home, the Prime Minister's men seem pretty busy doing damage control after its failed attempt to give the ISI under the control of the Interior Ministry, a move seen by many as appeasing Washington. Major coalition partners are unhappy over the flip-flop.
We have not been taken into confidence. Even there are difference of opinions about the ISI saga within PPP ranks. And the way they reviewed the decision, it rather eroded the already fragile coalition.
And the opposition has its own interpretation of the ISI episode.
I think there was an attempt to grab an institution, take it away from the Prime Minister, and extra parliamentary forces within the PPP regime are keen to have this, what I call the Kabza group mentality. I'm glad for the national security interest they failed.
It seems there is no easy way out of the quagmire that Mr. Gilani and his men find themselves in as they trod the power corridors in Washington. Prime Minister Gilani's visit to Washington has so far left him with reasons to smile, besides encouragement to gulp down the contradictions of sorts with a pinch of salt. With US promises on the one hand and drone attacks inside Pakistan's tribal areas on the other, one hopes that the Prime Minister will be able to convince the US to place its bet on Pakistan's democratically elected government for a change. Aman Azhar, Dawn News, Islamabad.